This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to The Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your spooky hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim. I'm also spooky.
How come we haven't been doing that all month?
Ooh, well, we gave ourselves names last year. Skeleton.
Yeah, and Tomb?
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Those were, I think we can carry them over. They were clever enough for 2 years.
I mean, I didn't want to introduce myself as Spooky Tom because after that intro, people might already be shaking in their boots.
Oh, with the haunted house noises?
Yeah. And I don't want people to be so scared they don't even listen to the show anymore.
Kids listen to this thing.
Yeah.
Against their will.
Don't send the therapy bills to us.
Yeah, please. Don't send the therapy bills to us. I was going to build on it. I couldn't think of anything to say.
No, that was good, Tim. You backed me up. You reinforced what I was saying. How are you doing this week, Tim?
Tom, each week gets more and more terrifying. I don't know what to tell you. Halloween month continues on, and every week is a new phase of a walking nightmare.
Yeah, a new wave of terror.
Ooh.
Tim, I had a good day yesterday, and I'll tell you why.
Hey, thanks.
It wasn't for what?
Thanks for sharing. Is what I meant to say. I need to recalibrate a little bit. I don't know what's going on over here.
Tim, you're supposed to be spooky, not rude. For God's sake,
I'm spooked over here. Brain's not
I was
working.
excited to tell you about something that happened to me this week.
Well, I'm happy to hear it.
Well,
Go.
I didn't even tell you what it is.
I'm excited to hear it. Sorry.
Well, maybe, tamper your expectations a little bit. It was that my freezer, I went in there the other day and the ice was like a little wet. And I was like, what's going on here? So I turned the fridge up a little bit. Boy, the water's never tasted better. Now the whole fridge is cooler. It should have been this cool in the first place.
Are you one of those guys that keeps your refrigerator too cold because it's like, well, it's supposed to be cold in there?
No, I'm in fact afraid of that because that's happened a few times. And then when you get stuff freezing in the fridge, then you got problems. But I think I was so afraid of it that I wasn't keeping things cold enough.
A real fridge coward.
Yeah.
Got to hit that sweet spot, Tom. What is the sweet spot?
What is it?
Yeah, 38 degrees.
My thing just has 1 through 10 on it. It doesn't. It gives
that must be Celsius.
Yeah, it gives you no other indication of what that means. But I've got it on a 6 right now, I think.
Nice.
And the waters treat me pretty well.
You got a
nice
Brita
water.
In there, Tom?
Yeah, I got a big Brita in there.
Let me ask you this.
Not the biggest one. But not the smallest one.
Is your Brita container serving as a water filtration system, or is it more of a way to keep your water cold?
Yeah, it's mostly like a water cooler.
Yeah.
Hey, we used to gather around the water cooler, right? And then COVID happened.
Do you
and
your
now I've
girlfriend,
got to make my own water cooler.
Do you and your girlfriend go around the refrigerator and talk about last night's episode of Seinfeld?
No, but it actually does. It's weird that it does mimic. I don't know if this happens with you and your wife.
We're not on speaking terms.
I should have asked. Usually
off air, Tom. You got
usually you tell me every week if you guys are speaking or not. Up until now, you've been on speaking terms, so obviously something very bad happened.
The 1 week I didn't fill you in before we hit record,
which should have been an indication of me, Tim. But if one of us goes out there to make breakfast or coffee or lunch or a snack, the other one's like, hey, what are you up to? And there's just a regular workplace when it's something's happening and it's not even anything, but I can, goof off for a minute.
Oh, do you like that? You know what I've learned about myself?
What?
If I'm doing kitchen business, I'm in the zone. And I want to be able to spread my wings and I want to be able to focus. I don't want to have a conversation when I'm in the kitchen. I don't want anybody else chopping an onion while I'm trying to chop an chop an apple.
Chop more onion for your wife.
No, I'm always happy to make it.
No, you can't even chop it while I'm doing it. Wait until I've left.
I want to. It's a form of meditation for me, Tom.
Okay. I mean, you make it sound like, my girlfriend's like making something in there and I come in and just like spill all the ingredients.
I mean, Tom.
No,
we were roommates for a while.
I don't come in and just mess with people's food. I leave people's food alone. Yeah. I'm actually real big on leaving people's food alone.
Wow.
Don't mess with people's food.
No, I agree. One time in college,
mm-hmm.
I went out with a group of people that I didn't know. It was like the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We all went to a taco and burrito place, and I thought it was funny. Some girl that I didn't even know ordered a burrito, and I just stuck my finger in her burrito. Is that your burrito? And I thought it was funny.
Uh-huh.
Everybody else thought it was funny. The girl did not think it was funny.
Did you buy her another burrito?
I don't recall. I didn't have much money back then. She could have eaten around it.
Eating around your finger?
I took my finger out. I took my finger out.
All right. Yeah, I'm imagining you keeping it in there and going, eat around it.
No, Tom, even 18-year-old Tim had his limits. Obnoxiousness. He's a bad person. Not a bad person. I was just the worst.
Yeah, you're much better now. Everybody says so. What?
He likes me.
I also learned about something. Interesting fact of the week here, Tim. Don't ask me why, but I was. Is
this going to be as interesting as your refrigerator is a little colder?
I think it's more interesting. Oh. I fell down a rabbit hole this week of looking into death row inmates. And first off, there's 3,000 people on death row in America.
I know, it's a problem.
That's insane.
Yeah. No, it's bad.
Yeah. Somebody should do something about it.
Yeah. Nobody's trying, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how do you build a bigger electric chair, What? What, Tim? It's all backed up. You got to figure out a better way to deal with it.
Brother.
But actually, it was mostly about the supermax prisons, where the worst of the worst. I mean,
El Chapo.
Yeah, El Chapo's in there. Ted Kaczynski.
What's Ted Kaczynski gonna do? Is he gonna get out? No, he's not gonna get out.
So the thing is,
he's oh no, he might get access to bomb materials and a freaking.
Who knows? He was building them out of a shack before.
Box.
Well, the thing is, there for every El Chapo, where it's this guy did escape a lot of prisons. There's, I don't know, probably at least 20 people, if not more, that's we're just real mad at this guy. So we're going to subject them to cruel and unusual punishment.
Right. That
is being in solitary confinement essentially for your entire life.
Yeah.
But one of the restrictions.
This so far is a very cool anecdote. Thanks for
one of the restrictions, and this one I was actually that might not be that bad. Is that they're of course they're limited in their communication and everything, but they're also limited in they don't get TVs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But they're limited in the news that they get,
right? And
they're given newspapers and magazines on a 30-day delay.
Why?
Just because
they can't know.
Yeah.
If the Orioles are still in the playoffs.
Right. Because it might, it legitimately is something in the news could rile them up.
But it's going to rile them up.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make a huge amount of sense. There have been instances where people have, and some of these people too, they're also kept from communication because it's they were the head of a crime family or whatever, and we don't want them still running it. And there was a case where a terrorist did get a signal out that I don't think it was acted upon, but it was going to be acted upon. So they got even stricter.
I'd like to go on record. If I was head of like some crime thing and I was in prison, I would hang it up.
Yeah.
I don't need to run something. Like, first of all, it's a lot harder to do.
Especially if you're like in prison, in solitary confinement for life, where it's like, well, I don't care what happens to the business.
Yeah.
Unless they're like, what if the business gets so big it can buy this jail?
Ooh, yeah.
And then I've got it made. But
they might give me a bigger cell.
I just imagine, no, they're kept in very tiny cells, Tim. I just imagine too, I don't know, it must be weird to like get all your news that way. And I wonder if they're like trying to bribe guards for like spoilers.
News spoilers?
Yeah.
Like, I need to, hey, what's going to happen with the debt ceiling? I know you know.
Well, but I mean, legitimately things like sports where it's like, hey, they made the playoffs. The season's completely over now. What happened? Or like elections and like.
It doesn't matter. If that's your reality, who cares if you're living 30 days behind? Just live it as if that's the day.
Yeah, but if you're living as if that's the day, but then imagine it's like, but that guy standing outside my door, he knows the future.
Yeah, see, this is what you want. You want somebody in jail who's running a bookie empire. So you place bets with him.
Yeah.
You know the outcome. He doesn't.
They don't get any contact with other prisoners. So
what about non-prisoners like me?
No, I think they get even less contact with somebody like you who's like not even related or anything.
I think I'm like the least of their concern. I can go in there. Well, I'm going to try to break this stranger out of jail.
So like they should let people like you come and go?
Yeah.
Hang out with El Chapo?
Exactly. What am I going to do? I got no interest
like
in breaking him out.
You're going to run a bookie ring with him.
Yeah, I mean...
You're going to visit with him, and then you're going to be like,
I'll take advantage of the bookie ring that he's running.
Now, let me visit the other...
They know they're on a delay?
Yeah.
Because I know you're like, they can see the date, but like, how quickly would you lose? Like, especially if you're in solitary, they can like take the newspapers away for like 3 weeks and then be like, guess what? It's October 10th now.
Yeah,
like, I mean... I forgot to like keep a calendar.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be one of those things where like... If you're not paying that much attention, and I imagine like before you're put in that jail, you're probably like pretty preoccupied with other stuff. You probably got like a trial going on and like sentencing and stuff. So you're probably not paying that much attention to the news.
Right.
So if you don't notice that those like first couple of weeks with the newspapers, like, hey, this is an old newspaper, then yeah, you probably do just completely lose track. I don't even know if they get newspapers. I think it's like at best you get something on a 30-day delay.
Right.
But we got to
seems
be
unnecessary. Maybe not cruel and unusual, but like unnecessary punishment.
I think it's just so like we got to make sure all of our bases are covered. And like somebody could be communicating to him through the news.
For what? You know what? Sometimes a jail has to have confidence in the bars and the locks.
They might be like, there might be something in the classified ads that's like, hey, keep an eye out for a helicopter with a rope. And, they're like, if it's like, oh, well, a month ago. I guess they could plan it a month and a half.
If somebody could plan a jailbreak through the newspaper, they deserve to get out of jail.
Yeah. Well, even if they're El Chapo, Tim.
I mean,
they probably don't want to give them those newspapers either because then they're going to cut up all the letters and start sending out.
Yeah, well, you don't want Kaczynski getting.
He's going to be like, oh, great, yeah, exactly. my favorite way to communicate, cutting up newspapers. Tim, this week, if things weren't bad enough last week. With attempting to summon a demon.
Yeah, we didn't do a great job.
No. I didn't. A demon came that night.
A speed demon?
Tim, we don't have the time. If that wasn't enough, now we are once again venturing into the other side, as it were, the spirit realm.
The unknown.
The unknown.
People say we shouldn't be messing with this. Have you seen this? People
no,
on
I haven't
Reddit
seen.
Are like they should. They said me specifically because I'm about to be a father.
Oh, yeah, and you don't want to have like a little Damien.
Yeah.
A little...
If I had a devil boy, and I don't think I will,
yeah.
like, he'd
If
be...
I have a devil boy.
He'd, like, be on my side, though, right?
That's
he
what...
needs me as a kid to, like,
That's
drive him to
John
places.
Ritter thought about the problem child, Tim.
The problem child didn't, like light John Ritter's house on fire or anything.
I think he did.
Yeah, I think he did too. But like
I think that happened in the first movie.
If he wanted to get to the birthday party that he wanted to terrorize, he knew that he relied on John Ritter to drive him there.
Don't ever count the problem child out, Tim. He would have found a way
Problem
there.
child and the Jinx have a lot in common.
Oh boy, they do. Yeah.
Both in jail for life.
I mean, in real life, the problem child by now would be a very bad person, probably.
Right.
Or he'd turn it around by the end of those movies. Yeah, he would probably turn it around.
Yeah. But like, then there's like a twinkle in his eye or something. Like,
I was thinking, have you ever seen Rosemary's Baby?
I have not. I've always been too afraid to.
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Actually, my friend's mean older brothers made me watch a real scary part of it when I was like 5, and I've never gone back.
But I was thinking about, I was like, oh man, like this could be a Rosemary's Baby situation going on with me and Tim. Like Tim doesn't realize that I'm actually the devil right now, and I'm like trying to open up the spirit world and pretend like it's all big jokes
with this Ouija board.
Yeah, with all this stuff, with the demons last week, and then all of a sudden, you have a devil boy, and it's like
I'm confident I'm not gonna have a devil boy. He's gonna be a perfect little angel, Tom.
What do you know about Ouija boards?
And is that the correct pronunciation?
Luigi boards.
Luigi boards.
Yeah. Apparently, the initial story was that it was like an Egyptian word for good luck, which was just complete bullshit.
Right.
And then it eventually turned into, it's actually a combination of the French and German words for yes.
Okay.
Oui and ja.
Huh.
I guess.
So it's Ouija?
Yeah.
But we're saying Ouija?
I say Ouija, but I've heard Ouija.
Yeah. I've heard a Ouija.
A Ouija. I mean, it looks like a Ouija more than anything else.
Yeah. Let's just say Ouija because it's cute.
Okay. Squeegee board.
I know that you use it to communicate with the other side.
Yes.
And it'll answer. Look, I've been involved with Ouija boards before, Tom.
I've been involved.
I've had some.
Like I've ventured to the other side.
It's rarely satisfying, if we're going to be honest. Somebody's always moving it.
Well, yeah, I will get into how it actually works.
This is what I know.
Minute.
It's a board, and it's oddly like made by a toy company, but it's about talking to demons and stuff. Or
it's a very weird. So the origins come out of the late 1800s. Although there's like that's like the modern Ouija board, whereas I think it goes back to 1100 AD.
1100
AD, in China.
Okay.
But these were like, other cultures had like similar but not like exactly the same, but like the same idea. Like, people put their hands on something and you communicate with the other side.
Right.
The other ones had like pens in it.
Oh.
So it's like 2 feet and then a pen, and like the pen would write things.
That's cool.
That's cool, but I feel like that's probably like a little harder to get, Do
you think there's somebody listening that doesn't? I think we need to explain what this is, right? It's a board, like a board for a board game.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the size of. This is a small one that you got, right?
I don't know. I thought
maybe
that
I was
too,
just smaller.
But yeah,
I
think this is the size they are.
Yeah. It's got the alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
A through Z.
Yes.
In 3 rows.
Mm-hmm.
It's got under that, and it's written pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Under that, it has the digits 1 through 9, and 0.
Mm-hmm.
In the upper left-hand corner, it says yes.
Mm-hmm.
The upper right-hand corner, no. On the bottom, it says goodbye.
Yes.
And you get a little...
It's called a planchette.
A planchette.
Or a plankette.
Which
One
is
of the two.
a triangular-shaped thing with a lens in the middle.
Yeah, with
a
like a
clear
little
lens.
window. Uh-huh.
And it's raised up a little bit. It's got 3 little feet on it.
Yeah.
And when you put it over, like each letter fits perfectly within that lens when the
and
thing is over.
it moves around smoothly on the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah, it's got some
you get 2 to 4 people. You put your hands on it. Yeah, you ask questions, and spirit communicates with you through it.
Now you got a Ouija board that is branded a Stranger Things Ouija board.
Yeah, Tim. You would think during this Halloween month, the Hasbro Corporation would be lousy with Ouija boards right now. No.
Supply chain, Tom.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Man, it was one thing when it was affecting computers and medical equipment, but now it's affecting board games for Halloween?
Yeah.
Truly, somebody's got to do something about it.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, I looked like I didn't go to any stores. I almost went. It seemed like maybe Party City had some.
Yeah.
But like
I looked it up in the various Targets in the neighborhood.
I did Target
Not
and like
in there,
Walmarts and stuff. Sears, Macy's.
Is there a Sears near here?
No, they didn't have any either.
Cool.
And I could order one from Party City, but I couldn't check the local Party City stock.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they don't do inventory at Party City.
No.
That place is mayhem. They just like get a box and just dump it onto the floor and like, get us the next box, and they dump that out too.
Yeah. So I had to get the Stranger Things branded one, which honestly was like $14, I think, on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's like, it wasn't that bad because they had a bunch of spirit boards,
Right.
which are essentially the, like the generic version of these.
Yeah, we don't want that shit.
I mean,
Does it have a picture of Winona Ryder on the front?
no.
No.
But the generic ones, they were more expensive too. So I was like, nah, let me get the official, even if it is branded. But as you brought up, it is talk about Stranger Things. It's a very strange thing that this is a Hasbro product.
Yeah.
It is I wish this were the real box, because the back of this box is just like Stranger Things copy. It says, turn your world upside down.
I haven't seen Stranger Things. Is that a reference to Stranger Things?
The upside down.
Yeah.
And I think in one of the seasons, I think they did a Ouija board, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Grab your friends and gather around the Ouija board. Ask questions about the strange events that rocked the town of Hawkins, Indiana in 1983. Maybe an otherworldly power from the upside down, or the spirit of Barb is listening. First thing, that's a spoiler for season 1 that Barb dies.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, they're saying ask questions about a fictional story.
Yeah.
But I was reading that it is kind of neat. The letters, this is because I saw the first season. Winona Ryder's character like puts up Christmas lights.
Yeah, so they could turn on and spell things.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, that's clever. It's, that's kind of the same idea. Because the official board game has like very carefully chosen words.
Right.
Where like it does not say spirit. It does not say anything about ghosts.
Why?
Because they're Hasbro, and I think they like just want to avoid.
Hasbro is a toy company that also makes like freaking like My Little Pony and stuff.
Well,
hey,
and
girl stuff like My Little Pony.
Well, and now they're like a much bigger company than they ever were.
Yeah,
because
of toys.
Well,
because adults like you are buying toys at an alarming rate.
Part of it, but also because they've bought a lot of the brands that they used to make toys for.
Right.
So now I believe they own like G.I. Joe and like Transformers. So like they're making movies and shit. Like that's them behind.
Good for Hasbro.
Yeah, they've really
They've made Ouija movies too, Tom.
Yeah. I don't know if like Hasbro Studios or whatever has done that. But I know like modern day Hasbro has been like, hey, we saw what Marvel did. Why don't we become a movie studio too?
Right.
Like, why not?
We have toys.
Yeah, we have toys. I mean, this other company made products for children, but they were to tell stories. But whatever. We've got toys. But yeah, it says mystifying oracle. That's the like trademark that they have for this. And that's like how they refer to it. That it's all like, oh, ask the oracle, not like talk to the dead and ask them these things.
They're really threading a needle here as a toy company.
Yes.
I feel like, you know what? I don't want to be one of these back in the day, but like back in the day, you know, if your 7-year-old is going to be like, oh, I'm going to go contact the dead, you'd be like, that's fine. Now everybody would get all up in arms about it, I think.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I'm going to go contact the dead and people were fine with it. What about like all the like
Ouija
religious
boards
panic? Yeah, I mean, but we had like cool parents.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we had parents that like didn't buy into like, you know, satanic panic and all that kind of stuff. I think we also had parents that realized that like their children were huge cowards. And it was like, yeah, the second that thing moves, you're going to be, you know, flying into, you know, upstairs from the basement like, I need to sleep in your bed tonight.
Did you ever do light as a feather, stiff as a board?
Yeah.
Never did that.
Do you want to do it tonight?
I don't think we have enough people.
Yeah. Well, you should
You
have
can
done
do
it
it to your dog.
I don't think she'll stay stiff as a board.
Ginger.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what the Ouija board was like a really good, along with the light as a feather, stiff as a board, like a sleepover activity.
Yeah.
Where it was like, this is like this mischievous, but like not really.
Yeah. It's 11:15, the latest we've ever been up.
Yeah.
We better take advantage of it by doing spooky stuff.
So
nighttime stuff.
This became big in the late 1800s, early 1900s because of the spiritualism movement, which I didn't really know what that was, but reading about it, I was like, oh, this is like so much of like America today, even where basically it was like, you know, when a bunch of people were like, hey, we think ghosts are real. And we're going to try and communicate with them.
Right.
And that's when like seances became a big thing and like psychic mediums.
It's when James Randi tried to put a stop to all of it later on.
The amazing Randy.
Yeah.
But the spiritualism movement, Tim, was pretty progressive. They were for the abolition of slavery and for women's suffrage. And now you might say, I think women have suffered enough, but that's not what the word means, Tim. That's what I thought too.
You learned that in your research today.
Yes.
Okay. Go on.
So it became a big thing. And like, in that time, people, I think, were mostly like fine with it. I'm sure like a lot of people are like, people are weird or whatever. But like people didn't really, they were like, whatever, live and let live. But I think it started becoming so popular that then like the church was like, you're
cutting
creeping
in on our,
you're
our
creeping in
here.
on our territory.
Yeah.
So the Catholic Church in particular was like, it could lead to demonic possession. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And stop reading those damn Harry Potter books.
Yeah.
And it's like, those won't come out for like almost 100 years.
But they knew.
Because they were actually in the Vatican using the Ouija board.
They're doing stuff in the Vatican, right? Stuff that
mean?
we don't know about.
Yeah, Tim, watch one of these Da Vinci Code movies. You'll learn all about it.
I never saw the Da Vinci Code or read the books.
Yeah.
They're blasphemous, right?
I don't know. I think
Wasn't it like, Jesus killed a guy?
Jesus actually did a hit and run.
Yeah, like isn't that like and it was all covered up?
Yeah,
and Tom Hanks
he had
has
too
to
many
uncover
beers.
it. Yeah,
and,
wine.
Yeah.
No, wasn't that like they found out secrets of the Bible? I don't know.
I feel like it might be that Jesus had a kid.
Yeah,
with
which
Mary.
Is blasphemous, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that's considered blasphemous or just like bad.
Talking out of school about Jesus in a book.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it would be like, oh, so Jesus had premarital sex.
Yeah, I don't know. Isn't it just kind of like, hey, we get to tell you what Jesus did, not Dan Brown.
Yeah, and I think Dan Brown was probably like, yeah, and you told me he was hanging out with a sex worker a whole bunch.
Yeah.
I put two and two together and figure, probably knock boots once or twice. Yeah, so that's Jesus.
But they call it? The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it might be blasphemous. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about
if you're going to get up in arms about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about Jesus in those books.
Yeah.
And then, Robert Langdon is like, found a treasure map on Jesus's like crown of thorns or something.
Tattooed on his chest. No, I mean, I think the church they go after these things, where they think the kids are getting influenced by this.
Yeah, they don't like anybody getting influenced by.
Yeah, and they're like, kids aren't reading Dan Brown books.
They could.
But another interesting thing, why this became like such a big thing at this time, which I hadn't really thought about, was this is after the Civil War. A lot of people were killed in the Civil War. So it's basically like everybody knew somebody who was killed and was like, hey, I never got to talk to that person again.
Yeah.
Also,
is there some charlatan who can help me?
Yeah. Also, like phones aren't around yet. So like, I don't know, I may not have talked to this person in like 10 years and, they were my husband and then they died. So yeah, there are just a lot of charlatans, a lot of it, but it made me wonder about, I was like, thinking about how many people have died in this country from COVID and then the opioid epidemic, and I was like, oh, is this going to become like a big thing again?
Well, for a while, what was that guy John?
Yeah, crossing over.
John Edward.
Yeah,
John Edwards. Who's not
but
he's a different bad guy from the other guy. And then the Long Island Medium is one.
Yes,
Tom.
yeah. The Long Island Medium, I thought, was popular more because it was like kitschy.
Mm-hmm. But her hair, come on, it's fun.
Like kind of a Real Housewives type thing of like, oh, like come see, a woman that lives in a different part of the country than you and has a different accent than you've heard. But no, apparently a lot of people are like, oh, this lady's a real psychic medium. Where do you fall on all that stuff?
Where do you think I fall, Tom?
You believe it all.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And I love how, grief-stricken people will pay sums of money to some slick-talking piece of shit.
Yeah. We should find a way to get in on that racket. We're slick-talking pieces of shit.
I feel like everybody that listens to this is grieving, right? Like, this is...
What?
Like, you're not listening to this unless you're going through like rough times, right?
Tim, the Ouija board, well, like I said, this was becoming a big thing, turn of the century, turn of century prior to this turn of the century.
Yeah.
And a guy,
this was their Y2K.
Yeah. A guy, a businessman, saw an opportunity. And this businessman, man, he has got such a good name for like late 1800s businessman.
Let's hear it.
Elijah Bond.
Elijah Bond.
Yeah. Elijah Bond. Nice to meet you, sir. Come right up. Step into my office.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you.
His name is a financial term.
Yeah. So it's like, well, yeah. And you probably had something like, and my word's as good as my last name, sir. I'm going to change my name to Elijah.
People saying word is bond back then?
Well, they would say my word is my bond.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to change my name to Elijah Bond.
Yeah.
I think, and next thing you know,
you've taken Tom Reynolds as far as it can go.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you'll see me on the cover of Forbes magazine. 40 over 40.
Yeah. Their April Fool's issue.
Tim, they don't put out an April Fool's issue of Forbes magazine. That'd be awful if they did that. And every year there was somebody who's like, I'm going to get serious about my finances.
That's what it is. Like a guy that's like trying to pay down credit card debt.
Yeah,
and they're like, Forbes magazine? Yeah, sure. I'll come to a photo shoot.
Or somebody who just got into like no, I'm saying, or like somebody who like just got into like a windfall of money and they're like, how should I invest it? And they pick up this magazine and it has all just joke investments.
Oh, I see.
But yeah, also just getting somebody with credit card debt to be on the cover of the magazine. Sure, that would also.
And then just be like,
So there was, besides Elijah Bond's doing, there was a lot of big business to be had around the spirit board phenomena at the time, Tim, including a bunch of people were writing books using Ouija boards.
Writing books? What a scam.
Yeah, well, get this, though.
Only scoundrels write books.
Well, I was thinking of
that was a dig at you,
yeah.
Tom. You write books for a living.
As somebody that writes books, I was like, oh, man. Is that like a easy way to write a book? Just have the Ouija board write? And I was like, no, Ouija board writes so damn slow compared to, maybe back then when people were, writing with like a pen or like a quill and ink or whatever, right. It was fine. But this very smart woman in 2017 wrote a book. I didn't write down what the name of the book was, unfortunately. It's not really important. She wrote this book and she was like, transcribed by me as written by Mark Twain.
Ooh. There was a woman on the Real World, the first season.
Yeah.
She claims
the New York
now,
season?
Yeah. In this in the reunion, which I recommend to everybody.
No, you recommend it to me every week.
Yeah, and I recommend everybody even if you're not like super familiar with the first season of The Real World, there's a woman, I think her name is Beth, and she now claims that in her time in the Real World house and after, she was regularly communicating with John Lennon, who was like sending songs through her.
What? And was she a musician?
Kind of.
So
I never got the sense.
Yeah, I don't remember her being a musician on the show. And I'm just imagining her being like, wow, John, that sounds great. Unfortunately, I don't know how to play any instrument. I can't do anything with this. I don't know how to read or write sheet music.
Yeah, she should have put out an album being like, these are John, like this enterprising young woman in 2017.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a little bit harder because the woman from The Real World would have to be like, here's John Lennon's album. I played it on kazoo.
And she could hire session musicians.
But she would still have to tell session musicians like, all right, so this part goes like ba ba da ba ba, and then this part goes ba ba da ba ba.
Yeah, so what?
I mean, it sounds like actually,
I think that's what Isaac Hayes did.
Yeah, that's what I should do. It sounds like I should get.
I mean, that song right there. That sounds like it might have come from John Lennon himself.
Well, maybe
the lad from Liverpool.
Maybe he's working his way through me. And he's like, that girl from The Real World. She couldn't put out the album.
This is John Lennon.
I had to get that guy to do it.
Is that like Demon John Lennon?
Yeah. He's fallen on hard times in the afterlife. Yeah.
He's in hell.
So this one,
he was a bad guy, right?
Yeah, he was a really bad guy. This woman was like, yeah, John, Mark Twain, he died 7 years ago, and present day. Of course, in the future, it'll be much longer ago that he's died, but right now it's this long ago, 7 years. And put out the book, and the book was like,
wait, when did the book come out?
1917.
Oh, you said 2017 before, and I was like, oh, this is smart. This is we should all be doing this.
And then you were like, Mark Twain died in 2010.
There's pictures of him were taken in like 1986. Yeah.
So yeah, she put it out like an instant bestseller. Did great. And then, of course, like Mark Twain's...
That had the N-word all over it.
Well, she had to prove that
That's
Mark
how
Twain
we knew
wrote
it was Mark Twain, yeah.
No, they were probably like, yeah, all books have this in here now. It's what moves books. So, of course, like the state of Mark Twain, they're not happy about this.
Mm-hmm.
They come up with a brilliant court case. So they sue her. And they're like, okay, so basically you have to either admit you made all this shit up and stop, or we'll take you at your word. Mark Twain wrote this. Give us our royalties.
A brilliant gambit.
Yeah, a real rock and a hard place, Well,
Yeah.
Which one is it? If he really wrote it, then that's our money. You can't keep all that money.
Guess what? Can't you just, like, she already sold the books. Couldn't she be like, I made it up and I'm keeping the royalties?
Well, that's essentially what she did.
Yeah, smart.
Like
outwitted the Twains yet again. Were they going by Twain or Clemens?
Yeah, I don't know. They might have changed. No, I think it was Clemens. Clemens? Clemens? Like lemons?
Like Roger Clemens. Another famous wit.
Another descendant of
you can't
Mark
tell
Twain?
by how smart and funny he is.
Yeah, I always thought like he's got a good big fat head on his shoulders.
A good sense of humor.
She just stopped selling. She was like, how about I don't admit to anything, but I just stop doing all this, destroy all the copies that we have and don't sell them. And
Right.
they were like, yeah, that's basically what we wanted you to do in the first place. Fine.
Couldn't just split the royalties? Or couldn't it just be like
No, I think they were like, no, give us all the royalties.
this was the
And they
early 20th century version of If I Did It.
Yeah, basically. Well, because I think they were like, no, this is hurting. Like, if people believe this and then they read this shit, which I'm sure wasn't good,
Right.
Like if somebody was selling it this way and writing it, like if this person, like I kind of take this person at their word that they did write it with a Ouija board. So it's probably like, I don't know, bad, probably full of typos and stuff. So I'm sure they just were like, no, we don't want his name. We don't want people buying this
Can you
and believing
imagine
this.
every time, like...
And being like, wow, Mark Twain's writing really went to shit after he died.
If you're using the Ouija board and, like, every time it's like, okay, yeah, I know this is... You don't have to spell out the whole word every time, Mark. Okay.
Yeah, they probably worked out like a shorthand or something. But put another... little like symbol on the board and like just go to that whenever you want to use that awful word.
That was just in one book, right? I don't know anything about Mark Twain.
Yeah, I don't
They
either.
named that humor award after him, but was he really that funny? Like, if I read this book, am I going to be,
Yeah, I mean, he was
busting a gut.
I don't know if you'd be busting a gut. I mean, humor is a very. I took a humor class in college.
Wow, so you must be a real expert, Tom.
Well, that's what everybody said, Tim. That that was a big joke. Everybody made. It was a study of humor. It wasn't a how to be funny class like you took. That
worked well, Tom. $15,000 well spent.
Well, I was gonna say, Tim, it wasn't like that how to be funny class that you sunk your life savings into.
It was a very productive 2.5-hour course, Tom.
But like a big part of the class was basically explaining like why nothing from the past is funny.
Yeah.
And like, because that's like a big hurdle you have to get over when it's like, this was the funniest person ever. And then they're like, you hear their famous joke and it's like, take my wife, please.
Yeah. I mean, which is a clever joke.
Right. And I mean, basically that's the whole thing. That it's like somebody was the first to make all these jokes before they got run into the ground.
Look, I don't want to go off on a rant here, Tom. But when Jerry Seinfeld is sitting on his perch right now,
Mhm.
where he's like, I'm the arbiter of what's funny, it's like, yeah, well, when in 1983, when you hit the
Yeah.
scene and you were like, you ever notice that chewing gum is weird? It's like, that was groundbreaking.
Yeah.
But like, he hasn't broken ground since.
No. And it's
He hasn't
fine.
done anything since 1983, as I understand.
And it's fine. You got billions of dollars
Yeah.
for doing that. You don't get paid. Actually, he doesn't get paid for like new stuff nearly as much as he does his old stuff.
Yeah.
He still gets paid a ton of money. It's fine. But yeah, you're not necessarily the arbiter of what's fine. He's not all bad opinions.
He's a good man, I guess. I don't know.
Timmy, how bad could he have been if a teenager fell in love with him?
Yeah, somebody thought his jokes were relevant.
Yeah.
A young person.
There was also a 1994 murder trial where somebody was convicted, and then there was a retrial after they found out that 4 of the jurors used a Ouija board to contact the dead victims and ask if he did it.
Wow. Smart.
What? Like,
I mean, because, like, you don't know.
what? I don't know what.
No, like, they don't know. Like,
No,
it's
yeah, but
like-
they're going to use a Ouija board. They're going to be like, well, there's only one way to find out.
Well, they didn't have DNA, right? It's probably they had, like, the testimony of a cow that was nearby or something.
No, this is 1994.
Oh.
Why are you not hearing times correctly? Testimony of a
Well,
cow.
the 2017 thing was you. This one was me.
All right.
I thought it was some old-timey barnyard crime that had happened.
Yeah. No.
I misunderstood.
This is 27 years ago, somewhere around there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And like, I'm just thinking, like, just hearing that story, I'm like, abolish the justice system.
Yeah.
Like, if you have jurors that have somehow gotten through everything and like during the case are like, I just don't know. I guess I got to pop over to Toys R Us and buy a game to find out.
It's not a game. It's
Although,
serious.
in fairness, it could be overblown. This could have been like, a case where they were sequestered or something and they were like looking to have a good time. And somebody had a Ouija board. And then they were like, oh, it'd be fun. Like, let's ask.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no real proof that, how, no word at least of like how much that weighed on their decision.
Right.
The guy was retried, again, found guilty.
Nice.
So, Tim, we're coming up upon a pretty terrifying part of the show here, Tim, because we got.
I was trying to think of a good answer. I'm not on today, Tom.
We got what year is it?
I've been getting the year wrong lately, actually, but
I get the seasons wrong a lot.
well,
Like only
because neither of us is really doing all that great right now.
I just feel like when I wake up a lot of times, I don't know what time it is. Like, in like my life.
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, time moves so fast these
Exactly.
days. Am I right?
Yeah. We're going to do the Ouija board, Tim.
Okay.
We're not going to summon a demon for if we can help it.
Yeah. I don't need a Damien in my life.
There's a this Ouija board danger warnings, a paranormal advisory. This is from paranormalauthority.com.
Oh, they're the authority on all things paranormal.
Yeah, Tim, that's why I went to them to find out. Tip number 1, avoid practicing inside your home. Most people will try to use their Ouija board inside their home, and at times this can be okay. However, there have been multiple occasions where the board invited something evil into the home that just didn't want to leave. A negative entity in your home can affect your daily life in terrible ways,
Yeah.
even going so far as to cause sickness and loss. That's why it's best to avoid using it where you live. Well, this is good for you.
Yeah, I don't live here.
Yeah.
You do.
But, Tim, I got sage as well.
Oh, you can use that after?
Yeah, to cleanse. You can use it before to cleanse.
But then, like,
you're like cleansing everything at that point. So we're gonna roll the dice. Hope we don't have any bad spirits.
You also did point out to me earlier that you disabled your smoke alarm. So after you burn that sage before you go to bed tonight, just give
it an old double check.
Yeah.
Graveyards. It says like don't do it in graveyards. I guess don't do it in places of tragedy. Don't trust who you contact. Tim, the spirit we contact might be a liar.
So it might not be Mark Twain after all.
Yeah, or it might be like, I'm a little girl, but really it's a demon.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even talk about what this actually is, the Ouija board.
What is it?
It is a idiomotor response is how it actually works. So what happens is
we got half of it here. Idio.
No, idio, not idiot. It's really fascinating how it works because it's basically your subconscious moving it.
Mm-hmm.
You get into a dissociative state in which one's consciousness is somehow divided or cut off from some aspects of the individual's normal cognitive, motor, or sensory functions. So, like, that's why people believe this so hard. Because, like you're saying, like, when you've done it, you're like, somebody else is moving it. And that's like a trope when people are doing this. It's like, you're moving it. And I swear to God, I'm not moving it. And, like,
sometimes
people
Jimmy's moving it. Every time Jimmy was moving it.
But most of the time, it's that your consciousness is 100% unaware of the fact that you're moving it.
Right.
Because they're very, very small movements. And I was reading about another example that you can take like a weight, like a ring or something, put it on a string and hang it. And if you're telling somebody like, okay, now just imagine it going like swinging front to back. Don't do it. Just imagine that. It will start happening. And then if you go like, okay, now imagine it starting to go in a circle. And again, without consciously doing it,
wait, the person is holding the string?
Yes.
Oh, I thought the string was suspended. I thought this.
No. Somebody's holding it.
Oh, okay.
Is that why you look so scared?
No, it's just I was dubious. I was just like, this is not
No, because it's crazy. Like when you think about how sensitive our muscles are.
You're very sensitive, Tom.
How sensitive our muscles are.
Stop recording all the time.
And like how, because I cry, sorry. And how like, I don't know how I don't know what the phrase would even be. Like you get how teeny tiny your muscles can move.
Yeah.
And like how you have so many muscles and they can just start moving
micro
like
muscles they're called.
Yeah, micro machines. Yeah. And you can start moving, little tiny muscles and it's like you don't
really
know.
Fast. Yeah.
We back to the warnings though.
Okay.
They might not, don't trust, they might not be who they say they are.
Okay.
Ouija board entities can be demonic. This is common knowledge, but it still serves to be mentioned again. Ouija boards don't just contact the dead, they can contact on other entities as well. Some aren't human, nor were they ever human to begin with. And then they talk about, I should use a salt circle. I just got some new salt from the grocery store. My girlfriend got it. I think she'd be real mad if I poured it all out all over the carpet here, but we'll see how things go. We might have to sleep in a salt circle. Don't ask the wrong things.
What are the wrong things?
Watch your mouth. Avoid asking certain questions.
But it doesn't say what?
No, I mean, from what? Okay.
This doesn't seem helpful. If you can't trust who you're and you're not allowed to ask the probing questions, then what are we doing?
Well, listen.
We don't know who we're talking to. We can't get anything interesting out of them.
Don't, Tim, you're gonna summon a goddamn demon talking that way.
With a bad attitude.
Don't ask them to prove they're there rudely. So if you choose to ask this, do so respectively. Don't jeer at it or say that it's weak if it doesn't manifest. Don't be disrespectful.
All right.
Imagine if someone called you over to their home, begged you to visit, and then treat you like dirt.
I would never do that.
You would get upset or even angry, wouldn't you? Never try to summon a demon. For reasons many of us can't understand, a lot of Ouija newbies want to interact with a Ouija board demon. Terrible, terrible idea. It won't end well, period. Don't even think about it. Don't ask about the future. They might not be able to know the future, or they might, or
Why
they
would
might
ghosts
not.
know the future?
I don't know, because they're fucking ghosts. Like, how do ghosts even exist?
Maybe in we're not in the spectral plane. What are we? Just in the normal plane? Maybe in the
corporal plane.
The corporal plane, we're like operating on like that 30-day newspaper delay.
Yeah.
All the ghosts have subscription,
Yeah, they've got the advanced copies of things. We don't know how the spirit world works, Tim. It could be the future ghosts are in there. Maybe, somebody that died in a hover car accident is
they're coming back.
Maybe to them it's not coming back. Maybe they've just always been there.
This makes no sense.
Always close your Ouija board session after you're done.
How?
I'll tell you how. Well, it needs to be opened by asking spirits to interact with you, and also needs to be closed. Closing is done by asking the spirits to leave, thanking them for being present, and then using white sage to cleanse any remaining area of negative energy.
You got the white sage?
I got whatever they had on Amazon.
It didn't look white from the picture that you showed.
It looked pretty white.
It's fine with me.
Yeah, this is white sage. Smudging.
Let me see.
Smells nice. Cleanse yourself too.
Oh yeah, this is white sage, of course. Purple Canyon white sage.
You don't need to mention brand names. If you recognize signs of spiritual attachment,
Smell nice.
you need to be doing
When
it.
I want sage, I reach for Purple Canyon white sage.
Tim, they're not a sponsor. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Let's say you've tried to clear your area multiple times, but paranormal activity seems to happen around you. Even the best of cleansing efforts sometimes won't work for regular people. This doesn't mean you should give up. Rather, it means you should contact an outside spiritual help from a priest or a local psychic. I'm not going to go to things are going to have to get pretty bad around here for me to go to some local priest and be like, me and my goofy friend,
Hey.
we're doing a podcast. This guy didn't even know what year it was. And unfortunately, we invited something we don't want to invite. How to properly dispose of a Ouija board. It can be done either by breaking the board or burying it or burning it.
Should we burn it when we're done tonight?
Burying the board should be attempted first. If that doesn't work, burning the board should be attempted next. I mean, that makes sense. Once you've tried burning it, it's going to be hard to bury it. So those are the general guidelines. Do you have any questions?
No.
Well,
I mean, I think I have general questions about how we should go. I mean, do we know who we want to contact, or is it luck of the draw?
It's kind of luck of the draw.
Can we request somebody?
Sure, I think so.
Have we heard an update on the Jinx?
Tim, what did I say about not inviting demons into a home?
The
Don't
Jinx
invite the Jinx. That's the last thing I need in my home.
Yeah, I'd never come back here if we successfully.
No, I'd never come back
I mean,
here.
the Jinx is still alive as of this recording.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put anything past him. I wouldn't
Yeah.
put past him that he can jump into a Ouija board.
Yeah.
This
is my ticket out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from what I was reading other stuff that said like it's a stupid question to be like, is there anybody here? Because according to them, it's like, every place is lousy with spirits.
Okay.
And it's basically like whether or not they want to talk to you. And it did kind of make sense that they were like, look, most spirits, they want nothing to do with this shit. So you're going to, more often than not, you're going to get, the Johnny
party time
the Johnny
uncle.
Knoxville of
Yeah,
spirits
nice.
who's like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to prank them. I'm going to pull some
Hopefully we get the Clooney of spirits.
even that I wouldn't care to have.
What, are you kidding me?
They're just
You
pulling
would be so
pranks on
lucky
me
to
all
have
the
that.
time.
High class
Well,
pranks.
I can't see them though. Clooney does some low-class pranks, too. I think Clooney does a lot of low-class pranks that, and he gets away with it because he's Clooney.
Yeah, exactly. And
not every Clooney prank is like, I flew us all to Venice.
What if we got Rosemary Clooney? And she was a prankster.
Is she still with us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We can ask the spirits. Do you want to do this?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
We'll take a pause and I'll set everything up and then we'll start again.
All right.
All right, Tim. I've set up all the candles.
Yeah, you lit a bunch of candles that are like little tea lights that I think are supposed to go in things.
They are.
And they're just like 4 or 5 open flames.
Where
like on your bookshelf near a bunch of books. All right, the ambiance is here. You turn on a red light.
Yeah. Tim, I know where the fire extinguisher is. It's fine. All right. Hands on the planchette.
You're supposed to just keep them.
Yeah, like a light touch.
Are we supposed to close our eyes?
No, you don't have to. If we close our eyes, then we can't see anything.
Well, once it starts moving.
All right.
That's all right.
Hi, spirits. Welcome to Halloween month on the Complete Guide to Everything. Is anybody there that would like to speak with us? We're being respectful, by the way. Huh?
You're moving it.
I'm not moving it.
W?
Okay.
You are moving it.
I'm not moving. Tim, what did I tell you about idiomotor?
N?
N? Oh, no. Is it Mark Twain? W again?
West, northwest.
I was looking for a yes or a no. D? W-N-E?
W-D.
M?
No, it's N again.
Oh, it's no. Oh, I'm seeing M. All right. Well, we'll assume somebody's there.
Do you think the board might be upside down? Should we try flipping the board?
No, they might just be getting warmed up.
Do you think it's William Noah Willington?
Yeah, maybe it could be initials. All right, let's. Bloomberg 49 asked on my Instagram, can ghosts hear podcasts?
Can ghosts hear podcasts? It went to goodbye.
It didn't like that. All right. All right. Any
WNWD did not
Yeah.
want to.
One of them Rangers.
You know what? We should do it this way.
Oh, okay. We'll do it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah. You're probably
we'll
right.
Flip the
I thought
planchette around.
Tim flipped the planchette around. It's got more room now.
Yeah.
One of them Rangers asked, can a ghost haunt another ghost? Any ghosts out there that would like to weigh in on this? It's moving again. Once again,
my hands are barely touching it. Oh,
it
goodbye.
moved again to goodbye. All right. Uncooperative guests.
This is why we don't have guests on the show. Generally.
Yeah. This is this person asked about the future. We can't do that.
I'm really worried about these candles.
Well, what's the worst that could happen? Does a human become a ghost the moment they are declared brain dead? If so, do they have to float about waiting for their fleshy vessel to catch up? So, like, if your brain dies, do you become a ghost?
Right.
Or is it like,
You
if
have to
you're
wait
on
till
life
the-
support, it's like, yeah, you just got to wait around. Let's
Good
see
question.
if the ghosts, if the spirit knows. It is moving. T
For Tom.
for Tim.
You're not moving it?
I'm not moving it. What is that?
E?
T-E.
That's the beginning of a word.
It is. Beginning of many words.
V?
T-E-V.
T-E-V.
What is that? D?
Yeah.
Tevd? T-E-V-D.
We're not having such good... I'm going to flip the board.
Okay,
too.
flip the board.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to ask that question. Is there, Mitch Medjfer asks, is there a movie library in the afterlife, or do they think of a movie and it starts playing in the sky above them? And then they ask a disrespectful question.
We're not going to do that.
No.
Let's ask what this spirit's favorite movie was when they were alive.
If they had movies.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be that movie of a train coming towards the screen. Stranger Things, it pointed to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have flipped the board. Darn it. Drop the plate.
If there's any spirits trying to, communicate right now,
who's your favorite comedian? Right? Don't we want to know this?
Don't we want to know this? What is that?
U?
Oh, that's nice.
The letter U.
UD? V?
UDV.
Who goes by the initials UDV?
Huh. Andrew Dice Clay.
No.
Tom, we got a bunch of gibberish from this guy.
Yeah.
Can we tell this spirit to leave?
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for making Tim think I was moving the board when it wasn't me at all.
I mean, my fingertips weren't even touching it.
They were touching it.
No, I took them off. It's a big prank.
Thank you for joining us. Go to tcgt.com to find out more. You can sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/complete-guide. Spirit.
Will you consider signing up for the Patreon to hear more?
It is moving. And then it stopped over the letter E.
This is not an articulate spirit. Tom, this has been every single Ouija experience I've ever had. A goddamn letdown.
Yeah.
Check out the Reddit. There's a Discord.
Yeah.
Check out that stuff. You get books of the podcast. We're finishing up the Andromeda strain this week.
Mm-hmm.
We got some fun stuff planned there. This was fruitless, Tom. And I'm going to be real pissed if this makes my baby into a Damien.
That would be crazy. If you had a devil boy just from this.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, if you had a devil boy and it was like, well, I get it. Shit went crazy. Like the table started floating.
But like UVDV, it's not.
Yeah.
I can't do anything with this.
Yeah.
Stock tips? Did they ask about stock tips?
I don't think you're supposed to ask for stock. I think that goes along with the.
Let's ask for stock tips. And I got some money sitting in a Robinhood account.
All right, we'll ask. And hey, we're not asking for insider trading here.
No.
We're just asking what's a good stock.
Yeah, all right, let's see. Spirit, what's a good stock?
To invest in, not to short or something.
What's that?
Well, Tim.
Board. All right.
It went to the Netflix logo.
No, yeah.
All right, Spirit, let's say goodbye to it. Thanks for everything. Goodbye, Spirit. Goodbye.
You're moving it to goodbye.
Well, I
All
am
right,
moving
okay.
it to goodbye. I told you that's what you have to do. All right, we'll burn the sage off mic.
Can I burn the board?
No, don't. That's bored.
That's what we had to do. Or bury it.
if we're getting rid of it, I'm not getting rid of it.
Oh, you're going to use this again? This was
Yeah, I'm gonna-
shitty. This was a bad experience for everybody.
Oh boy, he said it, not me, demon. You want to give out your address so the demon knows where to find you?
No, the demon knows where to find me.
They all do.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.